Hello everyone, welcome to this video. I thought about making an Instagram live, but all of you replied when I asked that it's easier for you to just catch the replay so you don't have to be dependent on a right time or be there at the right time. And I know all of you are in different time zones, but I'm happy to send out and share this video, and we're gonna talk about flow, being in this flow state, and also surrendering to the divine plan. And if you want to, you can grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. We're just gonna take our time. So if you just take a deep breath in and just land in your body. Maybe you want to close your eyes and just feel your belly, feel your breathing. So this flow state, it's something I work a lot with, and I would say for me it's no longer a work, it's who I am. I am always living in this flow state, and when I say always, I can feel a bit of wobble inside. Am I really? But yes, I am always choosing that. So even if I come into a stressful place, instead of you can say surrendering to the laws or the idea about limited time or the contractive ideas about not good enough or not enough yet, I always choose to surrender into the flow, back into the flow again, and say there's infinite time, there are infinite possibilities, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, and I choose from within every time, not based on outer circumstances, but from within. And recently I received a message from my friend who wrote me that she was so grateful for me being there for her and showing her how to live aligned with her intuition and her really following this flow within her. And that is actually what I hear from many of my friends, especially those I've stayed with long. So it's such a compliment, I would say, to have people that have been with me for months and months saying that this is actually something that's really powerful and has helped them back into the flow states. And I know that they then later receive the compliments from their friends saying, oh, you helped me into this more divine flow state, and there's such a peace in that. And I just want to share briefly. So when I started surrendering to divine orchestration, I think it's several years ago that I became aware of that was a thing, that this is like a higher way of creating. We have levels of creating. We can create very much focused on 3D and separation. You have to do something in order to get something. You have to earn your right to do certain things. And then there is this higher level of creation where you allow it to come to life and allow it to come into form at divine timing. You simply create it from a vibration within, which is actually always how you do, but you just don't realize it in the lower dimensions, and that gives the impression. And when I say lower, it's important to remember it's not better or worse, it's just a different creator level. But at those levels, you're not aware of the ability you have to create, so you might struggle a lot, or you might do it in a very, very different way because you think you have to do something or earn your right to have certain things. So it's a different way. So when you come into your higher creative potential, you allow yourself to align with that potential. You allow yourself to embody those energies within you. So these are the frequencies of very much the divine feminine, actually. So the masculine energy is action, and the divine feminine is like a state of flow and receivership and allowing for creation within. And masculine and feminine are present in all beings. So these are just like labels we put on. We have attached a whole story about feminine, females, masculine, men, and that there is something around these polarities as well that we're going to merge and create union within in these years as well. But it's important to understand that these energies are present in all of us. So it's just about allowing this flow. So when this really started to come into a new level, I had been living like surrendering to divine orchestration for years, but I started to understand the divine feminine frequency in a deeper way. And that is also what I'm gonna share with you. I started allowing myself to receive that energy really strongly, my own feminine creator potential, and really allowing and seeing that it's she who receives. So I could live in the flow, but if I didn't allow myself to embody this divine feminine frequency, I would not receive what was meant for me, and would feel like kind of a struggle to go through the different steps. So it's really important to also understand that there is levels of creation that becomes easier the more you allow certain aspects and certain energies to be integrated in your body. As my guides say, you need to be home in order to give and receive. So that is really important that we keep that in mind. But what is divine flow? How does it feel, and how do you know if you're living in divine flow? So flow state is an energetic state, and it's a peaceful state. It's a state where you don't struggle to get anything. You know it's already there. It's like it's laid out on your path, and it's always laid out on our path. But here you have allowed it or aligned it up for you from within, from a really strong vibration within of worthiness. You know, you deserve this. You know, you deserve all divine creation, all your desires, all your heart's desires. So that is what you really allow yourself come into there. And if you don't feel that, it's perfectly fine to, you know, it's a journey. So you're not expected to be there and just feel, wow, I deserve everything from the first moment. It's a gradual journey where you embody these higher lights more and more. And then you have aligned these potentials for you. You have aligned this orchestration for you. You have your whole divine team with you as well, of course. And that is also important to acknowledge them and say that they're there, because when you say they're there and they're allowed to help you, they can help you. So that we have the free will. So there's this element of allowing them to be your support team, and know that you're a part of the team. You're just a part of the Earth team. And the experience here on Earth is great. You can say surveillanced by your whole team, by all outer consciousness, but from a divine place of love. So I sometimes talk to people about that. Oh, are we really observed all the time? Yes, you are observed by really loving beings that loves you so much, and many of them are you in other incarnations. So there is this really deep understanding that we are not just here now in this body, or we are just here now in this body, but we are also present in other dimensions that might seem like other reality or other times. So it's not now, but it is truly all happening now, and that is how it works. So when we are in this vibration, then that you can also say, when you're surrendering to the flow, you allow yourself to just sink in with the concept of time. You allow it to be supporting you. So you allow yourself to move through the resistance towards yourself when you're not living up to like time limitations. We have a lot of ideas about deadlines and give a lot of power away to these concepts or constructs that we have created within time. Also a lot within right and wrong. You have to hand in certain things at a certain time. 1 minute, I'm just gonna take a sip of water. You can do the same. But when we surrender in, we understand that time is just a construct, and that we are actually meant to move through it if we want to settle in with the flow. So we are meant to just be bold in that stage. I remember it was not always easy. I felt like I was definitely very fearful sometimes because of an idea about what would happen if I did not live up to certain things, or if I was not keeping a certain deadline. But we need to move through it in order to see that it's not real. So we can't search within the box for the great expansion. The expansion is to go out of the box. And we can sometimes hope that other people will change it for us, or that it will change, and we can be allowed out of the box, but we are meant to create that path to leave the box. So that is also why so many of us are being guided to move into that flow state, because that is where we create the paths into the new. So if we think about new earth and earth in the future, we are creating the trajectory into that new earth. And many of us are already here, and we are welcoming anyone who's coming closer, or coming in, or desiring to move into this new earth. And in here, in New Earth, it's not separate from the old Earth. It's just a vibrational experience of being on planet Earth in a very different way of perceiving. It's perceiving the divine creation instead of the flaws and the separation. We see the oneness, right? So we see and we feel the oneness, and we feel the flow, and that there's this alignment with earth vibration, with galaxies, that there is this higher orchestration happening within us. And that is also what I want to point your attention to. I sometimes hear people saying like, oh, but I have like these, like my guides want me to do so. I have these requirements for my path to move forward. And I completely understand that, like now wanting to surrender into the, you can say, the guidance, not wanting to surrender into the ideas maybe that they have about how they are supposed to move forward. But there is a higher plan, and there is a higher orchestration, and understanding that we can surrender into it is not separate from our soul's desire. So what we are holding away, in my perspective, it might be triggering to some, that is our heart's desires. And it's completely okay to hold it away and keep it on hold, because it can feel intense to receive all that we have desired. It's in alignment with our soul's desire, but our human part can feel fearful. What happens if I receive that much? And it can trigger the system. So it makes sense for some to say, okay, go a bit slower. I remember some people told me at certain times in my life, like, can't you ask the guides to tone it a bit down? And I was like, but this is me. I am my guides. I am one with them. We are doing this as a team, and I'm choosing this because I feel the great love. I feel the great freedom there is within embodying this higher divine creation. I think I couldn't think of a more perfect way to live than just embody that and live aligned with that freedom that comes with, because I experience it as a freedom, and some people will feel it as restriction because they have a different human setting in their system, and they have a different soul, and they have a different agreement. And it's all about choosing a divine time. But it's just for you who are here watching this and might not resonate or feel that what you've heard has reflected your way of feeling. Because when I say it to some people, like, this is the ultimate freedom, they're feeling like, yes, that is actually true. I feel that too, that embodying the divine creative frequency, embodying this is the ultimate feeling of freedom, that I can move just how I want to move with my soul. So when you're moving in this flow state, it is of course surrendering. It is surrendering into not knowing and not needing to know when things are going to happen, and also not knowing necessarily where you're going next. I've tried that a decillion of time, and it's exciting every time, and it's also triggering often, because people would like to know until they don't want to know anymore. They just know that you're moving with divine flow, and that's perfect, and they can trust that they will show up and you will show up at the divine right time. They don't have to keep track of it anymore. So I want to say that because we are really restricted by these the idea of time constrictions, and when we have to do that, and when we have to decide that, and when we have to go where. When you're moving in with the flow, you're just feeling within, is it there, is it not there, is it a choice for me to take in this moment, or is there not a choice for me in this moment? Does it feel clear within? There can also be times where you feel like, yeah, that is clear, but I'm simply too afraid to make that choice right now. I'm simply too afraid to go in that path right now. Let us just take a moment and just allow for the peace to come within my body and receive the support that I need to take that next step. So that is also a way to do it. Yeah. I heard from an old friend the other day who talked about like feeling like she wanted to give up. Like she didn't want to like try to push forward with what she had been creating. And that might also be something some of you are feeling in this time, that there is this feeling of having followed a path and it's like, I simply cannot make it work. And just understand that there's such a great power in the surrender. I definitely have chosen that so many times, and it's kind of what I do every day. I say I surrender to the divine. I surrender to divine orchestration. And even if I try to struggle forward, it wouldn't work. I'm one of those at this time. If I try to get on a website not meant to go on it, it would just pop up like an unknown error has occurred, occurred, or the internet will just vanish, or something just go down, and I will just be like, okay, it was not meant for now. I also kind of felt it, so I'm just gonna leave it. But understanding that when you get these messages, it's actually meant, it's a signal for you to don't try to push forward on your path, just allow it. And yes, you can lower your vibration so much, you can make it go forward, or whatever it is, you can push it forward, or you might be at a different level or stage, and that's perfect too. But you will see later then why it was much more comfortable to just to go with the flow. And we can't always figure it out. Like, there can be deadlines, and then you're guided to wait till after the deadline, and this can bring up great fear. But then you will see why you were guided to do it this way, because we can't figure these things out. It's all happening on an energetic level. Like, we're holograms in this earth experience, and it's all made up of energy, so things can definitely move and change in ways we could not have predicted, or that is not really we can't really comprehend at this stage in the human evolution. But know that they work anyway. Either whether you understand it or not, it will work for you. So these were my words of guidance for you today, and I would love to hear what it brought up for you in the comments, and feel free to share with anyone. And yes, in the end, I just want to say that if you feel guided to go deeper with the divine feminine energies and really bring that flow in, we have a sale on at discounts on many of the products in the web shop right now. So we have some goddess activations. We actually also have the free goddess challenge from the first year. You can go in and check it out there. And I would also really recommend the root chakra workshop we did in late summer, if you are desiring to really move deeper into following the flow and just surrendering to your higher path and this way of living. And last, I'm guided to share one thing, so it's about the children. I love to bring them up. I work a lot with children, if you don't know that. So there's one thing that I'm guided to share, because many of the children come with great wisdom, and you did so too, but we're just like, we're like indoctrinated in this reality. We come in and we learn certain things, and this is true, and this is the reality. And about time, we often see children really slowing down. The more busy we feel, we see the children go even slower. I don't know if you have such a child at home. My little sister was really a master of that. The more you try to push her, the slower she would get, until she was almost standing still. And it can be greatly frustrating. But I actually understand one thing here, because I'm also guided to share that I had one child who was really showing this very clearly to me recently in the energies, that is a way to harness your energy. So the more you hurry up, the more you're out of your body. You're in like this outer state of not being present within you. The more you slow down, the more present you become in your body, and you can actually do it on purpose. Try to just for an hour go like really slow. And I believe they also use in Tai Chi and things like that. That is really a way, but you can go through your day and do the things you usually do, and then just move really slow. Or when you walk outside, walk really, really slow. It's a way of harnessing your energy and coming back into your body and into alignment with your creator being, with your divine frequencies. And when I say that, it's also so clear for us, like when we're not in flow, we are often in a hurry, or we think we're in a mind, think we have to go in a certain direction. Coming back into the body and really allowing for that, coming in and knowing that it's in here you receive. As my guides say, you need to be home in order to give and receive. And when we do that, we have so much more power to create from. So first step, if you're feeling very busy at the moment or stressed out, slow down, come back into the body, and really be present in this moment. Okay, so that was all for today. If it's the first time you're watching this video, I'm Matilda, and I'm a healer and energy intuitive. And you can read more about me on my website, awakenwithmatilda.com. Hope to see you next time. Bye for now.